This is the GJRB Online Network.
Read all about it, hear all about it. Hello everyone, I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome to a brand new addition to the GJRB family and the GJRB family of Gary Russen programs. This is the Gary Russen program.
Saturday Extra. And hello everyone across America from the GJRB Spreaker Studios on Clinton's North End. Welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. It's a great show today. Don't know if Ben's going to make it, but we got some great stories for you, some interesting ones, including a book being sold by Walmart that teaches kids witchcraft. We're going to talk about this. This is like really horrible. We got that coming up, plus a whole lot more. Join me right now as we begin the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, right here on GJRB.
All you gotta do is go to Gary.Russen on Skype, or just chat with Gary Russen on the GJRB Spreaker public site by clicking the balloon icon on the GJRB widget. And now, the Gary Russen program,
Saturday Extra.
On GJRB.
Yeah, hello everyone, hello everywhere across America and around the world from the GJRB Spreaker Studios on Clinton's North End, just above the Lion Shopping District in North End of Clinton, Iowa. Welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. You're on Spreaker and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. A Spreaker Podbean simulcast this afternoon right here. How about that? Got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be on the air. We're going to get some great stuff, and I hope you'll stay with me. We got a lot of interesting things we're going to accomplish. I did some sound testing the other day here on Podbean, and everything seems to play right now. I found out what was going on there in that I had to running it through an old stereo receiver that I use as an amplifier, kind of. Got another board plugged into it. It's a phonic soundboard, and then another soundboard that my friend gave me, Blake Myers, who's on Spreaker, came me from Boone, and I got that interconnected into the board. Now I have the internet or the computer plugged into the input. I have it plugged into the board, coming out the board, and I have my transmitter plugged into the headphone jack there, and all the music that's coming off the board from the computer is getting played over the, and I tested it. It works. Okay, I get the same connection. Okay, so everything is working over here. Everybody should be hearing me and the music and what have you on the Podbean soundboard. And meanwhile, that's the web-based their web-based console, on top of which I am on Spreaker simultaneously. Everything playing off that because I have that in the stereo mix, so everything will play on both. And it took me a while to figure this out. Everything will play on both boards. Everything will play on both stations. Okay? So I am on the new WGJR Worldwide. Okay, now, I know we're coming from the West Coast. I know we're coming out from west of the Mississippi. Okay, I understand that part. Okay, we're coming from the west of the Mississippi. Now, when I first started doing radio, it was east of the Mississippi in Pennsylvania. There, all call letters start with a W, don't they? Okay, they start with a W. So, and being that that's the case, and since I am here in Iowa, everything starts with a K, but being that this is on the internet, it really doesn't matter, because I have friends who had radio stations on here that used the W call letters, even though they're west of the Mississippi. Because basically, WGJR is an old station. It was my first radio station growing up in my hometown of Ambridge. I had it in my basement, and I put on my own programs. I started in my bedroom. Even then, I was broadcasting from the bedroom. Kind of wondered about that. But as I went on, I went down to the basement of our house at home in Pennsylvania and was having had a station. It used to get cold down there too. Anyway, it used to be finally I had all my programs on the air, and I graduated college. I graduated high school, went to the Ohio School of Broadcasting for a time, and then came back home. Wasn't getting anywhere, getting a job on a radio station, so I just kind of rehooked my radio station at home, broadcasting, and it was kind of neat because it gave me a chance to do my programming even though I wasn't on the radio, okay, on a terrestrial station. So I decided, well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to, have WGJR. It was my station for a long, long time since I was a kid. I'll have to tell you about that story sometime, from the very beginning, how I wanted to do this. Well, I might do that. I don't know, one of these shows. But right now I want to deal with some of the interesting stuff we want to talk about. Interesting weather here in the Quad Cities area. Boys, we're under a winter storm warning until tonight at midnight here in the Quad Cities. And I'm looking out our studio window right now, and it's snowing. Earlier it was snowing, and then it stopped. The sun came out about an hour ago, and we thought maybe the storm was passing over. Because, you didn't see any more snow falling. And a little bit of, it was a little slippery on the sidewalk. But it didn't really matter too much, because I had, everything was, I took my dog out, thought I was going to fall, but it wasn't all that slippery. So that was a good thing, But after a while, I went out and I walked outside, and it was sunny out, and it was drying up on the concrete. So I thought, well, it's going to be safe to walk anyhow. And it's starting to snow now. It's coming down pretty good, and where we're expecting to get 3 to 5 inches the last time I checked. And we'll do a weather on the fives coming up in a little bit, but yeah, we were going to get like 3 to 5 inches of snow on the ground here in the Quad Cities. General Quad Cities area, but that's kind of changed a little bit. And now we're going to be getting some snow, and then it's supposed to end tonight at midnight Central Standard Time. So it's I guess that's cool. So we got a great show lined up for you. Hope you'll tune in. We have 2 people total online here, so I have to open up my see where because there's a listener. What I like about Podbean, it tells you if I'm getting listeners. It tells me that I'm getting listeners, which is kind of cool. And I have an idea if I got some listeners on my board. And there you go. I'm going to figure that this is the meter, and I'm looking at my stereo console that's giving me the fact that I'm on the air. But then I go over to the Spreaker. On the Spreaker end, and I'm on the air there because it has a meter that tells me. So, there you go. So I hope you'll stay with me this afternoon. We got a lot of interesting stories to cover, and got some real good stuff to bring you. So it's going to be a great show. We have people coming in and out of the studio. We already had one leave. Tanya just left. Hope she comes back. See, we get people popping in and out. I've been monitoring when we do the show on Spreaker and Podbean both. And I think this is a good idea. And since I think this is going to work. And I'll find out when we go on the air, when I play it back after today's show's over. I'll usually kind of go through it and see how it sounds, and everything's going pretty cool. So usually what I'll do is I'll check it and see if everything played. But like I said before, I tested it Thursday. Wednesday. Wednesday I did a test. And because Wednesday I was going to do Gary J in the afternoon on GJRB Online on Spreaker, and that show got canned because it was just not a very good day for me. I just was not having a great day from hour one, and things just weren't panning out. So I decided to call off that show because things were just not going very good. So I canned the program, and I was kind of bummed out. So I spent about 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the air live here on Podbean, testing my sound and making sure everything was working right. And know that when I made my connections into my stereo console, which is the stereo receiver that I'm using, that I broadcast through, and it's going directly into Podbean. Okay, so I tested it. Okay, I tested it by going in, and I had to work on that one because I had to go into my other account and flip it so that I can check to see if I was broadcasting over. And I probably will try today to make sure everything's going good. But hey, we have a great show. Hope you'll tune in. We got a lot of interesting things to talk about. We got some interesting stories to talk about. So why don't we get started with a brief look at some news. Also, I'm having soup today. Absolutely fabulous soup. And you got this Campbell's puts out these like variety of soups, different kinds. And not that I'm not a soup person, I do like soup. But sometimes if I'm on the air, I like to just have a sandwich and maybe a snack or two. But this isn't bad soup. You have to try it sometime. It's absolutely incredible. It's put out by Campbell's. It's a mixture of sirloin steak and vegetables in a soup. It's absolutely incredible. It really is. Just to try that. It's excellent. It really is. It's fabulous. All right, good. So why don't we do this? I'm going to start with some news and some interesting story to start off our news as we kind of get into the news headlines here, and see what's in the news. There's a story going on here that says that Iran did an accidental shooting. We're going to find out here as soon as this stupid thing loads up. Should have just left that story loaded, because what happened was when they did that, it takes forever for this thing to load up. It runs slow. It's my phone. I'm reading. I do my stories off my phone because right now, yeah, it's taking forever. So I'm going to go to my first interesting story. That by the way, next hour I'm going to I have Pastor Ron in our church had his predictions. He did his predictions. Now I still have it on my phone, so I could probably just broadcast it from my phone. Very interesting story. Interesting predictions. So we're going to try to see there's time, because Ben Osman, who usually is a standard guest on my show, could not make it again. And with that in mind, because I gave him a message and he didn't return it, so that usually means that he probably can't do the show. You know, that's okay. I have no problem with that, but I have to fill a spot. So since Ben probably won't be on, I will probably play those predictions in his place. But we'll do that next hour. Meanwhile, this story comes here, a very interesting one, actually, as Iran admits to unintentionally shooting down an Ukrainian plane. Yeah, this happened today, the latest that they're saying, and this is what they say so far. The latest, Iran has admitted it mistakenly shot down an Ukrainian passenger jet on Wednesday, blaming human error and the U.S. adventure tourism for the crash. Iran Supreme Leader weighs in. Ayatollah Allah Khamenei calls for measures to prevent similar accidents in the future. There were 176 people died in that crash, including 82 Iranians, 57 Canadians, 11 Ukrainians, 10 Swedes, and 4 Afghans, 3 Germans, and 3 British nationals. The U.S.-Iran crisis, the plane crash, came just after Iran launched strikes on the Iraqi bases housing U.S. troops. Now, these strikes are retaliation after the U.S. killed the top Ukrainian general last week. So you have to wonder if that was intentionally or unintentionally. Or they're saying it's unintentionally, but really what they mean is it was intentionally. Because, who's to say they didn't? They're doing it intentionally after what supposedly we did to the general. CNN obtained a video through Al Riza Alamani, the activist in the Netherlands, showing thousands of people gathering in front of the gate of the Mart University in Tehran. Azamani told CNN that videos were shot by people at the protest who want to remain anonymous for safety reasons. The video mentions, and there's a video on here, that it can be heard chanting, Khamenei, have shame, leave the country. Some context on Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Allah Khamenei urged Iran's armed forces to investigate the possible shortcomings that led to the downing of the Ukraine passenger plane on Wednesday. So interesting story there. Indeedy. Fascinating bits of information there. So we'll touch more on that story a little later on. Play that recording. Should be interesting. Let's see what other stories we got coming up here. And why does it always flip over to something I don't want? I love this headline app. It's called, check it out, it's called Newsbreak. If you want good news, check this app out. It's absolutely fabulous. I stand behind it 100%. They are fabulous. You can save stories, and I use it for my news because you can save stories there, and it's fabulous. So check it out there. Meanwhile, President Trump is emphasizing with Queen Elizabeth after that bit with Harry. We got that one coming up. And I'll have that story on the way. Also coming up, we got some stories I want to cover for you here on GJRB Online. These are last 7 days. I did not make it to last 7 days on Thursday. But he gave me some of these interesting stories I'm going to bring to you that it was talked about. So we're going to talk about them here. And last 7 days, like I said, I missed it, got at the tail end, but part of it was, like I said before, was his predictions, and I'll play those. I did record those, and I'll have those on later. Very interesting, so we'll have that coming up. And I've got a couple of interesting stories here that we're going to bring you, including a new ad for a porthole from Facebook that features new age witch Kim Kardashian sitting in the Kundalini Yoga Triangle, awakening the serpent spirit. See, these people are just plain nuts. They just want to deal with these serpents. They like to deal with the devil. It's amazing. And then Merriam-Webster Dictionary names they as its word for the year 2019. We've got that coming up. Extermination gas used in Nazis during the Holocaust was developed by a pharmaceutical company that invented the abortion pill. Got that one coming up. And then, let's see what else we got coming up. We'll have some of these out in just a little bit. Walmart now selling children's books the Book of Demons. This is pathetic here. We'll have that all coming up here on the Gary Russen program. Saturday Extra. You can join me live right here on GJRB Online. Leave me your opinion, and I'll open up the lines. We'll have a great time doing this program. It's going to be a full Saturday edition, and really fabulous, too, because they gave me these printouts. And it takes me back to the early days of the Gary Russen program when I used to find stories and print them out before airtime. Back in the days when I had a printer ink. But I should be getting some soon. We're going to get, we'll be able to get some capabilities of that here soon. But I'll be able to print some stories again. But you know, it's about color ink. It always goes fast. One of the reasons why I don't always use the color ink on the computer, no more. I'll probably do is find stories, but what I'll do is I will copy paste the stories from the article onto a Word document and then print it, so that all I have to do is black ink, and then it'll save a lot on the color. Okay. All right. Tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to get ready because we're going to have weather on the 5s coming up. And we'll take a program break and be back on the other side and do some of those stories for you. So we'll stick with that. If you like the show, please hit the like button. And there's a like button here on Podbean, too, by the way, if you want to check that out. Remember, in order to hear this show on Podbean, you have to download the Podbean app. Okay, you have to download the Podbean app, and what you do is you go into Podbean, and if you have to sign up for it, and download the Podbean app. That app includes the player to listen to this live. Once you get the player to listen to this live, the player includes the player and the link to click in to call the program. So you can get on the air with me. So that's simple. That's Podbean, Podbean, and it's another alternative site other than my Spreaker. I love doing this stuff on Spreaker, and I do it on Spreaker, but I like doing the Spreaker Podbean simulcast because it gives me a chance to reach a lot more wider audience on the air when I do that. So that's why I like to do it on both. And I'm going to be doing a lot of my shows simulcast on both. Now, there'll be some. Now, I'm going to be rotating that. I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm going to talk about it. One show, usually the first Gary Russen program, the first program of the week will just be on Spreaker, and then we'll go Spreaker, Podbean, and then just Podbean, and then back to Spreaker, and then back to Spreaker. I'm thinking about doing it. Rotate it backwards. It'll be Spreaker, Podbean, Podbean again, and then Spreaker, Podbean, and then back to Spreaker. Something like that. And I'll write that down. But now, a lot of times when I put the schedule and I post the schedule, it'll have what platform the show's going to be on. That would also include, and then after that, after that, then I'll go into Spreaker, and they'll go to YouTube, the GJRB TV YouTube channel, and then back to Spreaker, actually. So between that will be YouTube channel, live video. So that's coming up. I'm going to be working on that as a rotation, and I'll keep on doing it that way. And it'll be fabulous because then each platform will have its share of the show. And WGJR Worldwide will have other programs too. So this is going to be like a separate radio station. Actually, I have a lot of radio stations that are on here. I think I've let's see, under each account platform, basically just two. GJRB Online here on Spreaker, which is a radio station within itself, a flagship GJRB Online flagship station, and flagship station WGJR Worldwide, which is also an affiliate of the GJRB Online network. Get it? Okay, so I get that. All right. Tell you what we're going to do right now. Let's get weather on the 5s rolling here.
Now, nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's weather on the 5s.
Okay, let's take a look at that weather on the 5s. Like I said earlier, we're getting snow on the ground here in Clinton, Iowa. It's coming down kind of steady. It's pretty good. We've been getting a pretty good steady round of snow here. It's coming down real slow, but it's coming down steady. But there is a storm system now going on right now, low pressure system, which is causing all this. And as soon as this pops up here and gives me the story, I'll be able to read it to you. Yeah, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, there's a potent storm system right now going on. It's going to bring a variety of hazards and some very record high temperatures in the east, in the southeast, in like the southern and south half of the U.S. this weekend. Parts of the plains, Midwest, and northern New England will be experiencing heavy snow and ice, while heavy rain and flooding just south of the wintry precipitation. Severe thunderstorms and tornadoes are also possible in points of the Gulf Coast and southeast. And I remember my wife was just telling me, we have a friend down in Tennessee there, and they were having tornado warnings down there. So we'll be watching that pretty closely throughout the afternoon. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 past the hour on all talk shows, 25 and 45 on music shows like Good Times, Great Oldies Show, the Positive Rock Show, and Classic Country, which is coming up, and of course Gary J in the afternoon, which will be on Monday. Here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker and Podbean, and the WGJR Worldwide. Weather on the 5s, any hour that ends in 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55 past the hour on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. And always glad to bring you this program because I love doing this show. It's fabulous. And I get a pretty good wide audience. Even though they jump out and jump in over on Podbean, I do this because, like I said before, I think my guest backed out on me, so I'm kind of like, we're going to do the show with Podbean Spreaker simulcast, and see if we can get listeners on both ends. So that's what we're doing today, and I hope you'll stay with me for some of the good stuff. We got a lot of really good things going on. And a lot of really interesting stuff. So I hope you'll keep it here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker throughout the afternoon for some interesting talk radio. And, it's fabulous. And I enjoy putting on these programs. And, I enjoy doing radio generally. Even though I don't get the audience, I still do it because it's just, like many of us podcasters, it's in our freaking blood, for heaven's sakes. It's just that simple. I mean, it's here. So, whatever the case. So, let's see here. Got a lot of stuff coming up this time around here on GJRB Online. Stay with me. The Gary Russen program Saturday Extra continues. We got some more interesting stuff. We'll talk about Kardashian. We'll talk about this book on demons that Walmart's selling. We got a lot of stuff going on, so you'll have to keep it here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker for all the best in internet radio. GJRB Online. We'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned.
are expecting some more snow as we head into the afternoon. Since temperatures have dropped below freezing and they are going to remain below freezing throughout the day, anything else that falls from the sky is going to cause slick conditions on the road, so be extra cautious when outside today. We are expecting around 2 to 4 inches of snow, could be heavier in some spots as gusts are getting up to 30 miles per hour. We should see the system move out of the area around midnight tonight, and we will wake up with a much quieter day set for our Sunday. This has been your Storm Track 8 weather update from meteorologist Morgan Strathmine.
Currently at ASTR Studios, it's 26 degrees.
Hi Mary, how was your day? Very nice, thanks. I saw the comprehensive rehab van drop off Ashley when I was at school today. She had that big smile that I love.
The therapy has made an unbelievable difference in her behavior. She's like a new little girl.
Do they charge for the van service?
No, it's free. With my job and John on the road, we can't take her to therapy.
Call 877-530-6356 today for a free screening.
And welcome back to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening to on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we have music playing over on our Spreaker side, over on our other side here, that one. But nothing playing on our Spreaker side when we're off the air. So I'm going to have to work on something there. See if we can kind of divide the sources, so to speak. So I'm going to have to work on something there. But welcome back to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. And thank you so much for sticking around our Saturday program, the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. And got a lot of good stuff coming up for you here. And if you want to get in part of the program, we had people jumping in and out. We had, during the break, T. Furlow coming in and left. So, please come back. Just on a half-hour hard break. So we're back on the air here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Always glad to bring you some of this stuff. And we got a lot of really good stories coming up as we continue the program. Hoping we get some. And we'll also open up the lines a little bit today. We'll see if we can get that, maybe if it's just for 1 hour, just to get some responses from audience. Hoping we do, because we always have some good stories and some programs coming up, some other information coming up for you here on GJRB Online, the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. And we usually get a lot of people on our Spreaker side, especially those that listen on Saturdays. Favorite amongst those is that Ed Delgado, the caramel conservative, who joins our program quite often. And we enjoy it when he comes on the air. Glad you could be a part of the program. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Anyway, I think I'll divide it very well. We'll be working on that. We got some more local stories we'll talk about here. They're talking about that snow prediction, as I was talking earlier before we got started. Now they're saying the snow prediction has now been reduced to 1 to 3 inches in this area, according to the local news. The Quad Cities dodged another big storm. The forecasters are saying they're expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow in the region. Hydrologist Jessica Brooks with the National Weather Service said most of the snowfall is expected to come by late afternoon, with conditions improving tonight. She stated that, quote, the amounts we were potentially predicting are not going to be as high as we thought. She said the rain and drizzle that blanketed the region off and on all morning lowered the snow amount. She said the temperatures are at 25 degrees by 12:30 p.m. Throughout the morning, city crews dealt with the treating of slick roads, and emergency personnel responded to multiple accidents across the region. Scott County Emergency Management Agency is also warning people to avoid travel if possible, particularly on side roads and gravel roads. So if you're in those areas here in the local Quad Cities area, if you're on the gravel roads or that, please be careful, because those are the slickest. And, people like to barrel for some reason or another. They're always in a consistent hurry. And they don't realize what they're getting, the mess they get themselves into when they are in that big of a hurry. Because, you can't play around when it comes to inclement weather like this, because it's it's a mess, to tell you that. President Trump expressing empathy for the Queen Elizabeth II after Prince Henry and Meghan Markle announced that they were going to spend less time on royal duties. Trump said in an interview with the Fox News Laura Ingraham, set to air on Friday. Let's see if we bring that down just a little bit. See if it was overmodulated, which, happens from time to time here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Overmodulated there, but I think we got it. All right. Saying, quote, that it's, I think it's sad. Really, I really do. And she's a great woman. She's never made a mistake. If you look, she had like flawless time, he added. And I just have such a respect for the Queen, and I don't think this should have happened to her. Prince Henry and, of course, Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, were thrust into international headlines this week when they announced that they were going to step back from royal family balance in their time between the North America and the UK, as they raised their 8-month-old son Archie and the launch of a new charitable entity. So the Queen wasn't too happy about that situation. And Trump is emphasizing with the Queen on that. And let's see, 2 American troops were killed on a roadside bomb in Afghanistan. As we continue the news, this comes out of CBS News. The 2 U.S. service members were killed and 2 others injured when their vehicle was hit by a roadside bomb in southern Afghanistan. The U.S. military statement on Saturday that the Taliban immediately took responsibility for the attack. Yari Yusuf Ahmadi, a Taliban spokesman, said that it occurred in the southern Kandahar province. And keeping with the Defense Department rules, the U.S. military do not identify service members. More than 2,400 U.S. service members have been killed in Afghanistan last year. That was one of the deadliest even in the United States, engaging in peace talks with Taliban insurgents who immediately took responsibility for that attack. Earlier, both NATO and Afghan officials have confirmed a roadside bomb hit a U.S. Army vehicle Saturday without mentioning the casualties. In a short statement, a NATO spokesman said that the officials were still assessing the situation and will provide more information as it becomes available. So that's an interesting story there. Their attack in Afghanistan, servicemen injured there, 2 Americans killed on a roadside bomb in Afghanistan. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on GJRB Online here on Spreaker across the USA. Thanks a lot for joining me. Hope you'll stay with me. And we got some more interesting news coming up as we continue the program, checking back with all the sources here and seeing what we have on our program. And I'm going to click out of that because I hear some stuff coming out of my phone here. Click out of that. Yeah. Okay, why does it keep on doing that? Okay. All right. Yeah, imagine that. All right. Anyway, you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to be aboard the program. We are on Podbean on WGJR Worldwide, and is an affiliate of the GJRB Online Network, and here on Spreaker, GJRB Online Network, and on our 9-foot closed circuit FM, Spreaker FM 88.9. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to be aboard. Welcome to join me. And we are on the air here live. I got both boards up, and we're on the air simulcasting. And checking the look at the board as I look at both meters. Both meters are moving with my voice, so that tells me that we are broadcasting. So we are on both. And again, like I said before, I checked it on Wednesday. Since I was not on the air Wednesday here on Spreaker, I did a test broadcast over on Podbean, and everything sounded pretty good. So I need to make sure that my levels are good, and that we get some good audience here. So we're just kind of, trying to see here. Okay. Bring that up just a little bit so that we are being heard. And, of course, I have the my headphones up there. And basically listening through my headphones through my FM transmitter into my monitor, which is my radio over here. So, we're broadcasting on that 2 entities. So, this is kind of fun, actually. I'm hoping maybe we get some better responses. And I hope maybe there'll be somebody out there here throughout the afternoon. We'll do some different stuff, and we'll watch for postings. I usually go into my Facebook throughout the show, see if there's anybody on. Let's see. I'm going to do something next here. And that is, get ready because I'm going to do some more stories here. We'll have some more of those. And we're going to talk about some of the stories that we had on the last 7 days. And talk about those. And we'll open up the chat rooms. The chat room is open on Spreaker, so if you want to get on that. And why don't we do that while we got the chance? Let's give you the information how you can get in on the show. And it's pretty simple. Yeah. All you got to do is get on the show. I am on Spreaker, GJRB Online Network, and on Podbean. Now, when you get on Spreaker, all you have to do is just get in the Spreaker chat room, or I should open up my Skype. That's open, Gary.Russen over on Skype. You can get me there, or you can get me on Podbean in the Podbean chat room on the Podbean web-based console. That is available there, too, and you can get on board. And we had some people jumping in and out earlier at the beginning of the program. So there are people who are tuning in. But so far we're not getting that responses. And hoping that we get some later on. So we're in the Podbean chat room. And that's always fabulous. So we'll open up the chat. We'll open up that. Now, if you are a Podbean listener, and if you want to be a Podbean listener, all you have to do is just join up. Get an account. And get your email and all that in there, and your password, and then get in there, and then just download the Podbean. Now, this is available to people who have Android and or iPhones. You just download the Podbean app, okay, and you can catch me live right there on the Podbean app on your cell phone by doing that. And you just hit that button. Now there's a thing on here, and when you get in, all you do is just what I'll do is I'll open up the lines. I'll create guest and call-ins. So you call in the program, and I hit that button to switch it on. You'll be able to hit that button and get on the air, and then I just click it and put you on, and you can talk. So check that out. It's very interesting. Got some interesting stories that I find fascinating, so we're going to do that right now. Kim Kardashian in the New Age Witch. Yeah, Kim Kardashian is a New Age Witch. Portal from the Facebook commercial obviously shows with its various influences in the Illuminati and Freemasonry and Satanism and the occult. This is what the Kardashians are doing. This is why I never really had anything to do with these people. Okay, I really don't like this stuff, and I really don't see why they got to do it. Now they're involved in this. The Christian revival led by Kanye West. You'll never hear a Kanye West song on this station. I can guarantee you that. Not influenced by his wife. It was not influenced by his wife in any meaningful way. In fact, he did not know what it was, but which Kim Kardashian, who came up with the name Sunday Service and one directing Kanye West to go public with it. Let's see. Okay, so this is what it is here. Who came up with the name Sunday Service and one directing Kanye West to go public with it. Now ask yourself, why would a witch want to do this? It's simple, really. Simple, really. Now, according to this, the porthole on Facebook features New Age Witch Mrs. Kanye West ritualistically lighting candles before entering into the meditation porthole with the, and I pronounce this, Kundalini yoga session, where a serpent spirit is awakened. This is what they're doing, folks. Okay, they're playing around with the devil, folks. Okay, this is the sick society we're in. This is the kind of people they're following. Way back in 2014, we warned that of the then new trend of Christian yoga began to make inroads in a large liberal mega churches across America. And he told you about something called the, let's see if I can pronounce that again, the Kundalini Yoga that is designed to awaken the serpent spirit. And very few of you heeded their warnings. And now here we are, 2 days away from a new year and the new decade, and Christian yoga is everywhere. The thing is, they say, is that Christian witchcraft. So what does you have to do with Kanye West's Sunday service on Facebook? Plenty. Abstain from all appearances of evil. Abstain from all appearances of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22, KJV. Portal from Facebook, a new technology product that combines video calling, digital design Alexa, and smart camera that automatically tracks your every movement so you can move from freely during the call and never goes out of focus. The official blurb on Facebook. Porthole comes from Alexa built in so that you can see and do more. Use your voice to control your smart home and check who's at the front door. Listen to your favorite music, watch news, and more. Hands-free, just ask, read more. So this is probably just an advertisement, but what they're saying is that they're the Kardashians, okay? What's that one show? And, you have to wonder about this, see? Because you're playing with the devil. People don't realize this. Your youngins don't realize what you're doing here. You're messing around with something you shouldn't mess around with. Okay? And you keep on doing it. When are you going to wise up? This says right here. Playing games with evil. Messing with evil. That's what they're doing. Coming up later on, I got a story about this too. Walmart. This is something else. Walmart is selling books that teach children how to conjure up demons. Yeah, a book here, Book of Demons. And we'll talk about that coming up. But the Kardashians, I had nothing to do with them. When they first became popular, and they had this TV show, and some of the young'uns, including stepdaughters, I'm not sure their name, love them both, but you're messing with something that you shouldn't mess with, and these Kardashians are doing it, playing around with evil. And she's sitting in this, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Kundalini, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, I don't care. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, and I don't care. Really, I don't. Okay? I just don't care. If I pronounce it correctly, oh well. But it's sitting in the Kundalini Yoga triangle and awakening the serpent spirit. That's what she's doing here. And because Kanye wife is a witch. Okay? This is amazing. The first porthole from Facebook featured Jennifer Lopez having video call with Kanye West's wife, Kim Kardashian, and Mrs. West sitting in the middle of a very new age meditation triangle. Kind of so favored with a Satanist and cultist. Not only that, but we see Mrs. West now lighting candles prior to entering into this triangle itself. A porthole into a demonic spirit world. To repeat, porthole from Facebook features Mrs. Kanye West ritualistically lighting candles before entering into a meditation porthole for a Kundalini, and I'll have to pronounce that right, yoga. I should have looked at name. I should have typed that up and see if it would pronounce it for me. Kundalini yoga session where these serpent spirits are awakened. This is the kind of stuff they're doing, folks. Kim Kardashian, Do we really have anything to do with her? Really? No, I won't. It's just that simple. I will not. Hey, your comments are welcome in the chat room on Spreaker. And I'm going to, I should really do that before I get out. Well, I'll do it after the weather on the phone.
Now, nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's weather on the phone.
And let's take a look at some temperatures across America right now. 60 degrees in Los Angeles, California. They're mostly cloudy skies. 18 degrees and partly cloudy in Des Moines, Iowa right now. Salem, Massachusetts checking in 67 degrees and partly cloudy, but it's windy. And over in Paducah, Kentucky, it's 44 degrees, and they got some rain showers there. North Platte, Nebraska, 24 degrees and sunny. Checking down the temperature scale, let's take a look at some other places. Like our friends, I want to shout out to our friends in Fairbanks, Alaska, negative 28 degrees and clear. So I say a big shout out to the Summers there. Up there. Ambridge, Pennsylvania, my hometown, 69 degrees and cloudy. Say out to my sisters there, calling Darcy, Debbie, and Jackie. I miss all everybody. Tampa, Florida, 83 degrees and mostly cloudy. My sister Jackie and Mokina. We'll do a Mokina temperature later. Provo, Utah, 37 degrees, mostly cloudy. Manteo, North Carolina, 65 and partly cloudy. Portland, Oregon, 45 degrees. So 45 degrees in Portland. Portland, Oregon's warmer than we are. Dallas, Texas, 36 degrees, mostly cloudy. Port St. Lucie, Florida, 83 degrees and mostly cloudy. Truckee, California, up there in Lake Tahoe, it's pretty darn cold there, 33 degrees right now in Truckee, California. And finally, Charleston, South Carolina is checking in with 70 degrees and cloudy. And we'll do another weather update with our friends at Weather Nation coming up next hour. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 45, past the hour on all music shows, 25, 55 talk shows, or any time in the hour it ends in 5. Weather on the 5s. Right here on GJRB Online. Got some more good stuff coming up. Stay with me. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network. Know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pandemics, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. With a lot of chaos happening, keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB. Recently, the owner of Facebook had to face Congress over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users were saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of your censorship and your data being used without your permission? Do something about it now. Come to MeWe, the internet social site that values your freedom. No more deleted postings. Make a step to freedom. Sign up today. It's easy. Go to www.MeWe.com. That's MEWE. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land. End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop for a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. Violators of this law could get a suspension of their driver's license and a $250 fine. When you see a school bus stop at a corner, letting off kids, stop 25 feet away from the bus. Don't take that chance. A public service announcement from the National Highway Safety Administration and GJRB Online. From America's Heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. Yeah. Top of the hour of 4 o'clock, 4:01 Central Standard Time, 5:01 Eastern Time, and 2:01 Pacific Time. This is GJRB Online on Spreaker across America and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And this is Gary Russen, and this is the GJRB Online Network, Clinton, Iowa. And welcome to our program. Thank you for tuning in. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra Hour number 2. As we get things rolling in our show. Coming up this hour, we'll continue talking about this witchcraft thing going on with Kardashians. It's just amazing. New Age witch. Yep. And coming up, more stories about that. Walmart selling a book to children on demons. See, this is something else. And then coming up this hour, we're going to talk about extermination gas, which was used by the Nazis during the Holocaust. That developed the same pharmaceutical company, the same pharmaceutical that developed this, as the one that invented the abortion pill. It's all coming up this hour on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Stay with me. And we back on the air for hour number 2. Hope you'll join me. I got my Skype opened. I'm doing that right now. I think it's going to open up. Every once in a while when I open up my Skype, it has to update itself. Just don't know why it does that, but apparently it does. I tried double clicking onto it and it didn't open. So here it is. Let's see here. Coming up, it shows me active. I am Gary Russen. When you get into Skype, just type that into your right there on the front there where it says people and groups and messages. Just type in that top arrow there and put Gary Russen in there. It'll automatically put me in the list of your contacts. And then when you do that, you can call me via Skype. I'll put me on the air. I'll put you on the air with me on both Spreaker and Podbean. And also, if you're listening on Podbean, just started an account there and download the Podbean app, which allows you now that's via your either your iPhone or your Android phone. And when you do that, it takes you into a kind of what do they call that? An app takes you into it gives you a player, and you'll see the show's title and the whole rundown of the calls. Now, when I hit that and invite calls in, it goes green here, and it shows that you can call. When you link it in there, it'll call the show. So you can get me on there, too. 4 lines. 4 ways to call in. You get maybe 4 or 5 people on at the same time. Like a conference call, kind of. Pretty cool. So we can have a pretty good chat session going there. And we're on Spreaker, GJRB Online Network. And, of course, you can also contact me if you're a friend of mine on Facebook. Welcome to do that. Just let me know that you listen to the show. And, I'm usually kind of picky about who I invite in there because just never know, right? And I have 2 Facebook pages now, by the way. I want to mention this before I forget. This past couple of days ago, I started a new Facebook page under the name of Gary John. Now, under that new page, I will link this show and other ones to that page so that people can listen to this show, even if you are on, I'm trying to get, now, I don't think I can broadcast for a full 3 hours on Gary John, but what I could do is do previews of that program and then post this show over there. In other words, I can take that show and upload it to the Gary John page. Now, I only get 5 hours there, so I can keep those shows on for a short period of time and then have to take them off to make room for some more. So, I do that. And some shows will be on there to kind of get some audience, to let people know where I'm at, what kind of program we got here. And you're welcome to be into the program. And I'm hoping that we get some listeners. Usually, sometimes we get a few people in here. Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative, usually joins us on Saturdays. And I think he's probably got something going on here, so he's not there. We were going to have, and should really check my Facebook page real quick while I'm on the air live here, at least my main one, because I'm thinking here that maybe perhaps I'm missing something in case someone calls me. I should make sure that I have that open. So anybody who would happen to be calling me through Messenger now, if you're a follower on Facebook, just get into your Messenger there. And if you have me in your Messenger, just go into the chat room there, click that, it'll open up that little chat room. And just hit that call button. And it'll ring the studio, and I'll answer it and put you on the air. Because I'm my own producer. I don't screen calls. I just put them on the air. I think maybe I ought to do that with my Podbean. Being said, I get some characters who call this program, like that one last month, or at least a couple months ago. But this is where we have it here. And thank you so much for joining me on a Saturday afternoon here on GJRB Online. And you're welcome to be part of the program. And like I said before, if you are on Facebook, you can listen to this show right there and be a part of it. I'm checking my Facebook page right now, and usually kind of click to where the message area is and see what I got and see what's going on as far as that's concerned. Snowing outside our Spreaker studios right now and overcast. It's snowing kindly, but we're expecting to get 1 to 3 inches according to a story I mentioned in the last hour. So we're going to get more snow, but maybe 3 inches, but it looks like maybe we'll avoid the ice, which is kind of a nice thing because that ice, I can't say I'm going to go and walk that, but I think we might just get out of the icy situation a little bit. It's a good thing. So you're welcome to join me on the program, and I am in the chat room here on Spreaker, and I'm also on Podbean. So what I need to do is to maybe divide it so that I can still see my Spreaker and my Podbean, because I really don't need to see everything, but stretch it out to a point so that I can see at least both boards, and I can determine who's in what board, just that way. So I hope you're enjoying the program. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you're enjoying the show wherever you're listening across the USA. Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on Spreaker and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. All right? And we had some people in and out in the last hour, so let's see what happens this hour here on GJRB Online. And we'll continue talking about that. Continuing on a story about Kim Kardashian, the new age witch who decided to sit in this triangle, and they're saying that this is a Christian revival and all this stuff, and Kanye, and the fact that this is all a big deception, which it is. The Sunday service deception. Deception. Which I kind of figured out because, when you really think about it, Kardashian, I mean, the Kanye, you think he was really serious about turning his life to Christ? I mean, you think that was just like a public game that he's playing with people? I think so. I don't think that was all genuine from the very beginning. That's why I never believed it. I thought it was just hooey from the beginning. So your opinion on that one. And why don't we go into that now? Here's an interesting story this hour. We'll let you comment on any one of these stories. You're welcome to do so by getting into the Spreaker public site and getting in the chat room, or again calling on those areas like all those on Facebook by getting into my chat room, and or calling me Gary Russen on Skype, and or getting into the WGJR Worldwide on Podbean and expressing your opinion in any one of those calls. I have the lines open, by the way, so you're welcome to join me if you happen to pop in. Meanwhile, extermination gas, which is being used by the Nazis during the Holocaust, is now developed by the same pharmaceutical company that invented the abortion pill. Imagine this now, the popular abortion pill that terminates unborn human life during the first 9 or 10 weeks of pregnancy, just so happens, was created by the same folks, yes, the same folks who brought you the exterminated gas in Nazi death camps during World War II. In a new video produced by the pro-life group Live Action was revealed, and it turns out that, and let me see if I can even pronounce this, Roussel, Rossi Uclaf, UCLAF, a French pharmaceutical company that created with first coming of the RU-486 abortion pill way back in 1980, is actually a subsidiary of the Hucest, RHOECHST AG, Hucest AG, a German pharmaceutical company that developed the poisonous gas and the compounds that were used during Nazis to kill Jews during World War II in the death camps at the Holocaust. It's a shocking revelation which gives whole new meaning to the popular Antifa chant, "Go Home Nazis," and it proves that the real Nazis in our society are the legal drug cartels that dispose life-destroying pharmaceuticals as medicine, and all with the blessing of the corrupt U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Imagine that. Yeah. The roughly 4-minute video by Live Action explains how nearly 350,000 unborn babies were killed by the RU-486 abortion pill just in the year 2017. This represents nearly 40% of all abortions that were reported that year. The video goes on to explain this, and you can watch that video, the video, live action video on RU-486 abortion pill on YouTube. So just type that into your YouTube and just type that into your search engine. Back in 1984, Walt Disney Company produced a pro-abortion film for the Population Council and eugenist group, given patent rights to the RU-486 in 1994. And in case unfamiliar with the RU-486, contains a drug known as, and let me see if I can pronounce this one, MIFE. I should pronounce that. Okay, that's our pronunciation, but it's MIFEPRIST. Whatever it is. Anyway, kills. It's just, I have to plug that into the pronunciation key and see if that will give me the pronunciation of it. This way it kills unborn babies by starving them of nutrients, while Russell Ucliffe initially refuses to sell this to the United States. None of the other former President Bill Clinton signed an executive order back in 1983 to expedite the drug's import into America. Yes, your lovely Bill Clinton. Yes, the people who brought the man who brought you Monica Lewinsky. Yep, the corrupt Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary. Yes, the mobsters of America. Again, killing folks off. And this is what they want as our president of the United States too. By the way, it's amazing. The corrupt Clintons. Imagine that. Last year, sign that in. And Walt Disney Productions actually partnered with a population council back in 1964 to produce family planning propaganda films. A propaganda film which pushed the message and that there are too many people in the world and that something needs to be done to curb population numbers. See? What was it in the what was it in the one show? Was it Christmas Carol? You remember that? The one I run every year? Yeah. How about that? The one that says let's kill off the surplus population. How about that? These are the same lovely people. Isn't that just amazing? Propaganda film message. Too many people in the world. Today's deaths are cut in half or better, especially among children. This is something. The old balance is upset. Those who live now instead of die are added each year in the number of people in the community. A narrator of the 1964 Disney production states this, quote, "The mother will have too much to do. She'll be tired and cross, and her health will suffer. The children will be sickly and unhappy with little hope for the future. This picture can be true for countless families if the number of children born is left to chance." Goes on to say and explain, adding that the family planning is a way of overcoming this, quote, merely by taking pills or using simple devices. Again, encouraging death, folks. This is lovely. This is the respect for life in the world. This is what we got. Just 1 year after the Population Council was given the patent rights for RU-486, it set up a pharmaceutical company known as Danco, D-A-N-C-O, Laboratories. We quickly pushed the population pill into the market. Danco was originally chartered offshore in the Grand Cayman Islands, which is well-known. It's a well-known tax haven. RU-486, or mifepristone, I guess that's how you pronounce it, mifepristone, was also brought over to China not long after that. And it continues to be an abortion drug of choice for families to obey by Chinese one-child policy. And that's what they got in China. Their belief is a family should only have one child. That's what they got in China. Imagine that. Isn't that lovely? It's a respect for life in the world. It's amazing. Really is. Your comments are welcome. And we got the lines open on Podbean. We got I got my Skype open and active, Gary.Russen. You can join me there. It's open and available. And Facebook listeners can call by getting in, and Facebook friends can call in by getting in on my Facebook. Gary, if you are there, Gary John Russen's Facebook page. And I just opened up a new one, but I think that if I were to broadcast from there, it would have to be where I would have to post the show via, I would have to use it as a post. In other words, I have to use it as a post place, put the show at after it's over, because I can't put any shows on the air of lengthy broadcast on there from my Gary John account on Facebook, because it would only be 15 minutes, so I have to do it that way. But I can still do it 5 and 5 or 10 hours, 5 each hours on Podbean and on my other Spreaker site, Gary John. So that pretty much will be the site I'll use to promote programs. And the other one will be, of course, the main one, which I use for live broadcast. So just to let you know about that. It's a Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to be a part of the program. And we'll do 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music and stuff like that throughout the rest of the show. You're welcome to be part of the show. Let's see if we can get some listeners out there. We did have 2 people drop in at the beginning of the program, a Tanya and a T. Furlow, but they disappeared. So I'm hoping maybe they'll come back. So I'm hoping maybe we get some audience there. And also, I wish they'd stay. They'd be interested in some of these stories. I'm sure we'd get some good responses there. And of course, I'm going to post on Facebook, since it seems like we're not getting anywhere with this show as far as getting any interaction. So I'll probably play a song and see if we can get some people out there. So I'm sure there probably is somebody out there who will listen. And of course, we'll do that right now. We'll put a tune in here. I'm going to throw one on and see if we can get some responses here. So I'm going to put a tune in from our playlist and see if we can get some people out there who might want to listen to the program. You're welcome to join me on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. This guy would have been on our show today, didn't make it, but he does sing a pretty good song called Home. New emerging artist all the time on GJRB Online, Ben Osman, on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra.
Yeah.
WGJRB Online and Ben Osman doing that. One of the songs we have on a recurrence on our GJRB list. Home on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Gary J. Russen with you on GJRB Online on Spreaker, WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And now it's time for Nationwide Weather Update. This is GJRB's Weather on the Pod. And we got a lot of nasty weather down south right now. I'm telling you what. We're going to take a look down here right now. We'll do our scroll through social media and more news stories, and we continue the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Thanks a lot for tuning in today on Spreaker and Podbean. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Welcome to it, and I hope you'll stay with me throughout the afternoon. We're going to get some audience. I'm going to post around because it's time now to do our weather on the fives, and we got some really nasty weather down south right now. Especially down in the southern parts. We're going to check in now with our friends at Weather Nation. Here they are right now.
Into western Pennsylvania. Again, damaging wind, maybe some small hail. That's also a concern down towards Clarksburg. As I broaden that view back out, you'll notice on the northern side of things, we've got a big winter storm, a big wintry mess match that we're keeping a close eye on. And, it's giving us some ice and some significant snow. I mean, can't believe it here. With all the shower and storm action to the south to the north, we have snow. We're not that concerned with the snow. We're thinking generally 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches. I'm going to expand on that in a second. We're very concerned about icing conditions, especially central and eastern Michigan. And we have a field correspondent, Steve Gruber, who filed this report earlier from Lansing.
Ice apocalypse came early here to southern Michigan. In fact, the ice came about 5 hours ahead of forecast. As you can see, the ice buildup is already dramatic here. And we're expecting somewhere between half an inch to 3/4 inch of ice buildup throughout the rest of the day today. It's going to be difficult on 2 to 3 million people living in southern Michigan. You also can see that we've had flooding already. Up to 2 inches of rain fell overnight before it turned to ice, and the wind is also picking up. The flags standing straight out right now. We could see a lot of damaging wind going with this ice. Again, when you talk about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice, you're talking about trees coming down, you're talking about power lines coming down, you're talking about real damage and real devastation. We'll keep you updated from here as we know more. I'm Steve Gruber. Back to you.
Okay, so you just heard it there. When you start looking at half inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice, that's when things really start getting serious. They weight of all that ice on tree branches. They start snapping. They come down over power lines. And that can actually just really start around 1/4 inch of ice. So when you start getting into the half inch, 3/4 inch numbers there, it can be definitely a bit on the heavy side. As far as winter weather advisories, we have storm warnings and also winter weather advisories up out across Missouri, southeastern Iowa, in through Chicago, up through Milwaukee and Green Bay, and then right across Michigan. Winter storm warnings are in the pink, winter weather advisories. They're a little bit less snow. They're in the purple, and we start getting real purple right around Flint in southeastern Michigan, just like you heard Steve Gruber talking about. Those are ice storm warnings, and that's where you could see at least a half an inch of ice accumulating on tree branches and power lines. It could be a real mess here going through the night and early on tomorrow morning. We can also see that kind of ice accumulating way up high here and way up here in northern New York State, out across Maine as well, so that too could be a couple more problem areas. As far as the snow, generally speaking, 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches in the blue, where you see the purple shading, right there in northeastern Michigan. That's where you start picking up about 6 inches of snow. And then here's the parent cell right there. There's the cold front creating all the rain, the showers and thunderstorms, but as you get colder wrapping around the whole system, it'll be cold enough. There's some snow and the freezing rain. This is through 11 o'clock tonight. Chicago, 2 or 3 inches of snow there, right across Michigan, and that pink shading in southeastern Michigan, that is all the freezing rain that's going to lead to those ice accumulations. We are very concerned about that. Sunday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's still mainly a rain event, central New York State, all the way down into the Carolinas, but where you see the pink, that's actually more freezing rain up through, Burlington, Vermont, and right across in through Maine. This is 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. The last of the rain is scooting off the East Coast and moving way up high into Quebec and also Montreal. Sunday night, the whole system is pretty much done. So again, the forecast for ice is right in here. It's about a tenth of an inch in Chicago, changing over from rain to a little freezing rain before finally it all comes down as snow. But to the north and the east here, Grand Rapids, Midland, Flint, Detroit, especially southeastern Michigan, it is going to be a very highly concentrated ice event. We could see little areas here, kind of isolated areas, upwards of an inch of accumulated ice, and that's going to lead to some massive power outages. Let's go back to Viking Radio, see what's going on there, and Joe has that for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. We've got that winter storm to the north, severe thunderstorms around Pittsburgh, down through West Virginia, down into the southeast where we have a tornado warning still in effect for Harris County, Georgia. Lots of reports of trees down and power outages in that area north of Columbus, Georgia. Then a lot more coming up here on Weather Nation with our continuing severe weather coverage.
To take out a bully like Trump,
someone needs to stand up to him
and beat him where he thinks he's strong. Beat him on the economy.
And there you go. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 45 minutes past the hour on all music shows, 25:55 talk shows. That's 25:45 on the Gary J in the afternoon. Good Times, Great Oldie show, and the Positive Rock show, 25 and 55 on talk shows like this one, the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We're going to take a break and be right back. Got more great talk radio coming your way next as we continue the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online on Spreaker and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean.
We're expecting some more snow as we head into the afternoon. Since temperatures have dropped below freezing and they are going to remain below freezing throughout the day, anything else that falls from the sky is going to cause slick conditions on the road, so be extra cautious when outside today. We are expecting around 2 to 4 inches of snow, could be heavier in some spots at gusts are getting up to 30 miles per hour. We should see the system move out of the area around midnight tonight, and we will wake up with a much quieter day for that 4-hour Sunday. This has been your Storm Track 8 weather update from meteorologist Morgan Strathmine.
Currently at KSPR Studios, it's 25 degrees.
Every Monday, Tuesday evening, enjoy Rastrelli's Restaurant Pizza, Pasta, and Chicken Buffet with that fantastic salad bar. Only $9.99. Pizza, only the way Rastrelli's can do it. Pasta, chicken, fried chicken, that great golden brown fried chicken, and that wonderful salad bar. $9.99 every Monday and Tuesday in the Avanti Dining Rooms, 4:30 until 8 p.m. Rastrelli's Restaurant, 238 Main Avenue in the Lions neighborhood.
Whether you're starting up a new business or want to upgrade your current equipment, contact the professional staff at Electronics Incorporated for information or a free consultation to create a system to meet your individual needs. Visit electronics.com for a detailed list of services offered or call 563-242-1223. Electronics sales and services, security and fire alarm systems, background music, and installation and maintenance for business and residential, phone repair, and more.
Service on the double from RHA Service of Clinton for restaurants, bars, and grocers. RHA Service is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week for all your refrigeration needs. Call RHA service at 242-4563. That number again is 242-4563. 24-hour emergency service, and they service most brands. Quality sales and service since 1977. That is RHA service, 524 3rd Avenue South in Clinton. Phone 242-4563.
Take a tour and find out why the Regency Retirement Residence, for the 6th time, was voted as the best independent living home. 1 and 2 bedroom residences are currently available, and tours are offered every Thursday from 10 a.m. till noon. So call April at 242-1010 to set up your tour, celebrating their 20th anniversary of providing the best in independent living for persons 55 plus. The Regency Retirement Residence, 839 13th Avenue North, Clinton. Whether you're starting up a new business or want to upgrade your current equipment, contact the professional staff at Electronics Incorporated for information or a free consultation to create a system to meet your individual needs. Visit electronics.com for a detailed list of services offered or call 563-242-1223. Electronics sells and services security and fire alarm systems, background music, and installation and maintenance for business and residential, phone repair, and more.
Are you looking for a natural alternative to your well-being? Natural Healing, located in Clinton, has full-spectrum dietary supplements to give you a boost in your wellness. Choose from water solubles, tinctures, creams, edibles, and pet care. Get a new perspective on life with all natural, organically grown formulations from Natural Healing, located next to the Plaza Bowl in Clinton. To find out more about plant-based therapy solutions, stop in and visit with independent educational consultant Margaret Zimmerman at Natural Healing of Clinton today.
Own the night, space travelers. Spaced Out Radio is on weeknights at 11 p.m. on Spreaker FM 88.9. And welcome back to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online at 4:36 Central Standard Time. It's 2:36 in the Pacific, 5:36 Eastern Time, and you got GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extras. We crank up a total of 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music here on GJRB Online. We're talking about a lot of interesting things today, and you're welcome to join me. I am on Podbean, WGJR Worldwide, and you can also check the program. Now, we are also on, you can see GJRB Online in the window there. That's me. Okay, so I'm listening to myself. I'm monitoring myself to make sure that everything is playing correctly on the Spreaker public site, so that you can hear the program, you can hear everything that's going on the air, and I just posted on a couple of pages on my thing there. But you can also listen to the show on Twitter. I am the Radio Maniac on Twitter. You can just get into my Spreaker public site, www.spreaker.com/user/5120525, or just go into the Spreaker public site. You just go there, and you can catch the show. And, we're here. And doing a lot of fun stuff, and I hope that you'll stay with me live here on GJRB for the best in internet talk radio here on Spreaker. And this is where it's happening. And I'm just kind of posting all over the place to let you know that we're on live, and the program is being heard, and we got some more interesting stories. So check it out. And always fabulous to bring you this stuff, and be able to bring it to you live here on Podbean and on Spreaker. Yeah. And lovely. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and repost that because it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to repost that announcement, and I'll do that, and then we'll see if we can get some listeners here. I'll do that by playing some music. We have 50 minutes of nonstop talking music here on GJRB Online. We play new emerging artists, which I have from great people that I listen to, great groups and artists I listen to on, SoundClick and SoundCloud and other sites like Reverb Nation. And I play new emerging artists all the time on this station. And I believe in it. I believe that playing new artists and new music. And later I'll probably create my own chart system. Kind of looking into that. But as of now, we have this going on. So we got some new music. So why don't we play this? Is the newest one we've been playing. Fabulous tune, actually. I like this. This is a fabulous new artist by the name of Lewis. This is called Coffee at Midnight. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB.
Coffee at midnight. No, it's just your eyes. Sit in the silence, taking the quiet. Can I pull you down? Lay here, just shut out whatever they say. Baby, just for today. Flashback, his hand on my neck. Brown eyes, my guy, my love. Mistakes, heartbreak. We say you can't take this love from us. Now it's getting serious. Talking about the real stuff. Life without you. Can we just slow down? Stop trying to figure it out. I don't know what to do. I'm still crazy about you. Flashback, his hand on my neck. Brown eyes, my guy, my love. Mistakes, heartbreak. We say you can't take this love from us. Flashback, his hand on my neck. Brown eyes, my guy, my love. Mistakes, heartbreak. We say you can't take this love from us. Now we're sitting in your car and I wonder where we are. Why did we come this far just to give up? You were everything I need and now I'm struggling to breathe. Why did we have to fall in love? Now we're sitting in your car and I wonder where we are. Why did we come this far just to give up? You were everything I need and now I'm struggling to breathe. Why did we have to fall in love? Flashback, my head on his chest. He's wearing that shirt I love. Regret that day when we said you can't take this love from us. Coffee at midnight. No love in your eyes. Can't take the quiet. Sit in the silence.
GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. GJRB Online Network and WGJR Worldwide. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't checked it out, do so, please. And hit that like button, because I always want it when we hit that like button, because that means there's people out there listening to the show in either podcast platforms. And you can join me live right here. If you're listening on Podbean, all you have to do is just download the Podbean app on your iPhone or on your tablet. Just do that, and it'll let you in, and you go into the chat room there that way. And it's an app. When you get in there, it's good for Android or iPhone, so you can just get in on that. And you can listen to the show there. And if you are so inclined, just hit the like button on both places, because I always appreciate we get lost. I get that algorithms going. We get this show rolling. It gets exciting. So stay tuned. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. GJRB Online. This is where we do a retrospect of the week's news and talk about more stories that we are covering as well here on GJRB Online. Coming up, Merriam-Webster's Dictionary names they as its word of the year for 2019. We have that coming up. Also, Walmart now selling a children's book of demons. Why? I have no idea. Yeah, that's coming up. And, of course, a new deal for Porthole. We already have that one. That's that one. And a church in Sweden unveiling a first ever LGBTQ. Where's our good friend Delgado puts LGBTQ LMNOP. Plus altar artwork showing gays, lesbians, and transgenders in a Garden of Eden replacing Adam and Eve. It's going that far. It's going that far, folks. I mean, I'm not kidding you. And this is pathetic. This is pathetic, sad stuff, and we've got it all coming up here on GJRB Online. Also going to go. It's also going to do our scroll through social media as well, and that's usually where we. Let's do that for a little bit. Take a break, and we'll see what's coming up in the next hour here.
Let's scroll through social media.
And let's see what's going on in the social media realm. How about that? Sounds pretty good to me. I always like to do that. That's Facebook, Twitter, and all the social sites across the internet. This is where you'll find me, and we chat and give you all that. I've already posted on my Facebook page already, and I'm going to post again on Meet the Spreakers and other places, so that we can get some audience here, because it's kind of dead this afternoon. I thought it would be alive with all the bad weather we're having, but obviously not. It's just, let's see, Meet the Spreakers, we'll do that one, and then GJRB Online Group, and then I need to do probably is friend myself. I got to friend myself on Facebook, friend Gary John, and then I can post there too as well, see if we can get some people out there, but there's not too many people on my Gary John side yet. Still working on that one, because, like I said before, I'm managing 2 Facebook pages, so it's going to be kind of fun now doing both. And I've got to train myself, so to speak, to see if I can manage them easily. It's just, there you go. Let's see what we got here. Now, why don't we do that now? Let's see here. This one really floors me. Really does. We'll do that one, and then we'll do the Merriam Dictionary next, and then the Church of Sweden. But check this out. This floors me, and I can't believe. When I was 5, maybe 6 years old, I didn't have a care in the world. I was one of those that I wanted to play. I didn't care about all this other rigmarole, I just wanted to play. I was a kid, and kids should just play. It's ridiculous when you sit there and you have, exposed. You're a little kid exposed to this stuff. I mean, this kind of demology kind of would scare a kid. But here we are, doing this, okay? This is pathetic. What is wrong with this world? Walmart now selling children's books of demons. Yeah, Walmart doing this. There's a quote here at the beginning. Put Hashem was incest as it was going. So an angel, Hashem, placed himself in his way as an adversary. He was riding on his shoe ass with two servants alongside. That comes from Numbers 22:22, Israel Bible. But here it is. For parents looking to induce their kids in devil worship, Walmart and Amazon. This is Amazon too, folks. Walmart and Amazon now selling new children's books entitled A Children's Book of Demons. In the About section, the publishers try to turn the act of summoning demons into a kid-friendly activity, saying summoning demons has never been so much fun. This is what they're doing to kids, folks. This is what they're doing. This is pathetic, okay? This is totally pathetic. This is what they're doing. And I can't believe this, that they're doing this. This is what they're doing. Summoning demons, they're teaching kids this stuff. Site categorizes the book as a playful guide to conjure demons to communicate with the spirit. The children's product was listed for children's ages 5 through 10. It inspires kids to create demons of their own. The book was sort of coloring book kind of thing, whereby children can draw demons using a system of sigils, 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 whatever that is. It's just really. As a publisher of weekly textbooks, Lighton interrogates hands-on craft element into the playful guide, which invites readers to conjure gentle demons by writing their sigils, I guess that's how you pronounce that, sigils, which serve as a phone number straight to the spirit. The demon necessity specific summons a riddler named Corydon. Corydon. Corydon requires sigil drawn bright red colors and clown noses perfectly while giggling. They express specific characters, abilities to range from pragmatic to gross. They include Flatulus, who's a talent for passing gas. This is what they're teaching. This is what they're teaching kids. This stuff. This is pathetic. The expert finding missing objects and Spanglocks, best dressed demons in the underworld, who offer cutting edge fashion advice. It's just this is something else. And then there's more to this stuff. Let's see. Lightens, L-I-G-H-T, lightens, rendering the multi-eyed, multi-armed, sharp-toothed demons are outlandish without being creepy, and creative concepts will likely inspire some readers to create demons of their own, ages 5 to 10, according to July. Walmart cite the book and placed a category called Paranormal, Occult, and Supernatural Kids Books, listed for $9.88 per copy. Would you pay for something like that for a kid? Would you pay for something like that for a kid? I wouldn't. This is again, encouraging kids to play around with demons is not very smart. Indeed, not very smart. I mean, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of it? This is just evil to the 10th power. Why are we doing this kind of stuff? And you have to wonder, what is wrong with this society, folks? And they're going to pull this stuff. It's just amazing. Just blows my mind. It really does. And look at this one. Merriam-Webster's dictionary announced Tuesday that it has chosen the word they, T-H-E-Y, they, as the 2019 word of the year. A singular they, a pronoun used to refer to a person whose gender identity is non-binary. A word that itself has added to the Merriam-Webster's.com dictionary in September of this year. The gender-neutral pronoun used in place of he or she. In a September of this year, Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Sam Smith announced that their decision to use gender-neutral pronouns. Smith is far from alone around this. Around the time Merriam-Webster's added gender-neutral pronouns they and themselves in the dictionary. Imagine that. We'll do the weather next hour. Talk about 5 after. Okay, we'll do the weather 5 after. We're going to do this story. While they may increasingly common the modern language as English, let's try it again. While they may have increasingly common in the modern language as English speaking strive for more than inclusive words, to use as a singular pronoun is not new. As Merriam-Webster writes, quote, English famously lacks a gender-neutral singular pronoun to correspond neatly with singular pronouns like everyone or someone. As a consequence, they has been used for this purpose for over 600 years. Well, we've used they to refer to a group of people, haven't we? I mean, really, in a case like that, I guess it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. But, again, it's the fact that we have to accept this culture. That's what they're doing. Despite the word's long history, searches for they increasingly by 313% in 2019 compared to the previous year, according to the Merriam-Webster. And while the dictionary didn't officially select the runner-up for the word of the year, it did note that the searches for the phrase quid pro quo spiked 644% from last year. The Latin phrase, literally translated as something for something, is defined as by the dictionary as something given or received for something else, and is a deal arranging quid pro quo, the phrase which has come repeatedly during the impeachment hearings of Donald Trump. So, again, Merriam Dictionary just recognizing the word they in the reference to homosexuality. Leading into the next story we're going to talk about coming up after the next hour, after we top of the hour ID. Church in Sweden reveals that the first ever LGBTQ plus altar artwork showing gays, lesbians, and transgenders in a Garden of Eden replacing Adam and Eve. That's coming up next this hour. Also coming up this hour, we're going to do our regular program schedule. We'll also have our Spreaker shout-outs, our Spreaker Podbean shout-outs and promotions coming up. And that's where I talk about some of the promotions we got coming up on GJRB. And you can, and if you are a new podcaster, or just discovering a lot of new podcasts here on Podbean, on the WGJRB, on the WGJR Worldwide, on Podbean, I'm discovering some of those followers. They're absolutely fan people we have here broadcasting on Podbean. And, you're welcome to join in the show. And we want to thank you for tuning in. And I don't know, according to this, I'm going to see what happens. We have 157.53 here on Podbean, and we're headed into the end of the hour. So I'm going to see if it's going to call me off and tell me to sign off. Because the last time I was on here, I had straight 3 hours on the air. So I don't know what Podbean's going to do when we get to the close. So I'm just going to kind of bump up to the top of the hour, take a station break here locally on the 9-foot signal and on Spreaker, and then come back about approximately 10 after. If it cuts me off, about approximately 10 after, I will relaunch Podbean and finish the show as a final part. So we'll do that, but I want to see what it's going to do when we cross the top of the hour. You'll see the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you're listening on Podbean, WGJR Worldwide, I'm going to be doing some different things on that station, separate from Spreaker. I'm going to be doing some shows there too. I'm going to be balancing out that schedule pretty good with that, and mainly the first main show on that station, which was the WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. We're basically going to be doing programming of different kinds on that side. And that would be just talk radio, pretty much, WGJR Worldwide. We'll do some different things like Christian rock, probably. We're going to have some of the programs that air here on GJRB Online, here on Podbean, on WGJR Worldwide, because this will become the affiliate of GJRB Online on Spreaker. So some of the programs that were on Spreaker, GJRB Online Network, will air here on Podbean, too. So we're going to kind of like do it that way. It will be two stations carrying each other's programs. So it's going to be, I've got a multiplex going on here, folks. Yeah, and it's fabulous. So whatever the case. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's past the 2 o'clock, 2 hour mark here on Podbean. So I'm going to do identification and see where it leads me here. It is the top of the hour of 5 o'clock right now. 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, 6 o'clock Eastern, and 3 o'clock Pacific. And this is the GJRB Online Network. This is the GJRB Online Network. Gee, I think I said that, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I did. And this is WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And I'm Gary J. Russen. And for people listening on the local 9-foot signal, Spreaker FM 88.9 KSPR LP-FM in Clinton, Iowa. That's a 9-foot signal covering the neighborhood here on the north end of Clinton at the 800 block of 28th Avenue North. Broadcasting live. And we just crossed the 2-hour mark on Podbean. That means we are live on the air here on GJRB Online on Spreaker and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And I hope we can get some people in this hour because, it gets kind of slow on this program when we get people jumping in and jumping out. We already had someone jump in during that story that I was reading about the Merriam Dictionary. So I guess there's people who don't like what I'm saying and some people that do. So, yeah, you got to figure that one out, right? So, you know how that goes, right? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. And coming up this hour, like I said before, we'll finish up this story. Children in Sweden unveiling the first ever LGBTQ altar, and we'll talk about that. The Church of Sweden doing this, and we'll have that one coming up. Hope we can get some people in here, and I was hoping maybe we'll hear it from Eric Delgado at least. No one in here at all so far, so we'll see what happens in this next hour. We'll also do our Spreaker Podbean shout-outs and promotions, and we'll do Weather on the Fives for Clinton, Iowa coming up, as well as we get into the final hour of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening across America. And if you want to get on the show, I am on Facebook, Twitter, and other places, including Podbean and other places I'm trying to get onto as well. And I'm also on Spotify. So if you want to catch the show on Spotify, I'm there as well. You're welcome to join me. My number is, you want to get in on the show. Podbean, just get in. If you are a listener on Podbean, just download the app. And once you get in there, if you have an iPhone or an Android phone or Android tablet or if you have anything like a, what do they call that? They say that Chromebook's not any good, but anything you have that you can, it's downloadable. Just download the app. It automatically gives you a player. You can listen to it there, and on the player has a link where you can click to call me, and I'll put you on the air. So you can join me there on the it's WGJR Worldwide, named after the first radio station I ever had on the air back in Ambridge, Pennsylvania, WGJR, and this is WGJR Worldwide, made WGJR real and put it worldwide on the internet. So you can listen right here on Podbean. So tune in. We got a lot of good stuff coming up this hour. So why don't we get rolling on this as we continue this program. We're in the middle of 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music here on GJRB Online. That means total nonstop wall-to-wall stuff. So check that out. Alrighty. Okay. Well, we do that. And why don't we do
let's scroll through social media.
Facebook and Twitter and all those great places. And I've already posted here, Meet the Spreakers. I'm on Facebook. I already have that posted. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to join in. And looking at some of the postings on Facebook from CBN News, the World Evangelical Alliance is facing criticism for a statement released on Friday that appears to draw moral equivalency between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States. Check that story out here coming up. Got so much to cover in a show, I gotta tell you. So if I don't catch it on this show, we'll do it on the next one. Also, from CBN News, some cases are seeing a full-on psychosis, agitation, and hallucinations. That's coming up. A surge in the ER visits after a new marijuana law took effect. Should be coming up. Check that out. I know that feeling. Okay, let's go down the page here. Let's see what else we can find here. I'm not going to mention that. Let's see. We got a lot of other interesting. What the heck? January 11th, that's today, and it's 67 degrees. The deck door's open. Wow. She's calling. Really? 67 degrees in Pittsburgh? I know you guys are expecting severe thunderstorms, though, according to what I checked the last hour on the Weather Nation people. Wow. It's warm back home. Looks like my friend Brian Harrison and them lost power. Oh, boy. Let's see what down the page here. Here's something here. This comes out of CBN News. Authorities say that at least 7 people have died in a severe storm sweep across parts of the U.S. and South, bringing some high winds and unrelenting rain. So we'll have something on that right soon here. So some of those stories, if we get some stories that take precedence over others, so sometimes that happens, then what I usually will do is save some stories for the next show, which usually I do from time to time. So let's see what we got here. Anyway, let's talk about this one. Church in Sweden unveils the first ever LGBTQ altar and artwork showing gays and lesbian transgenders in a Garden of Eden, replacing Adam and Eve. Isn't this something else? This is something else. St. Paul said in a statement, "It's with pride and joy that we receive paradise at St. Paul's Church. Images that open up a greater illusion and identification of the church. We are grateful to Elizabeth's artistry, enabling us to build a credible church that shows that we all, regardless of who we love and identify as, are recommended in paradise. However, many social medias are upset about this celebratory, inclusive piece of art." So what they're showing here is that a alternate Garden of Eden here. Adam and Eve are out at St. Paul's Church in Sweden, and their places are lesbian, gay, and transgender people frolicking without care in the world. Now I know that nearly 100% of more reader-based will find this offensive and distasteful, and rightly so. I do not want you to miss the broader and larger picture of what's happening here in America with the attack on the church of the LGBTQ plus movement. And the Lord planted a garden eastward of Eden, and he put the man whom he formed. In his book, The Generation of Adam, in the day God created man, likeness of God, made him, male, female created he them, blessed them, and then called their name Adam in the dry, and created, according to Genesis 2:8 and 5:1-3 KJV, the King James Bible. So what they're doing is this LGBTQ movement is alternating Adam and Eve to that Adam and Steve. Yeah, that's what they're doing, folks. This is what's happening. Imagine that. An angel of the church of Laodicean writes, these things with the amen and faithful true witness is beginning of the creation of God, and I know thy works, and thou neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot, so because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spur thee out of my mouth, according to Revelations 3:14-16 KJV, King James Bible. Now, gay mayor Pete, but I can't pronounce that. He's the Democratic nominee running for president in 2020. Famously said, quote, "It's time for us to move on toward a more inclusive, more humane vision of faith in the Christian church, meaning that we need to throw all the stuffy old King James Bible doctrine out of the window and get with the LGBTQ plus times." And it's not just him. We see the same thing coming from Baptist pastor like this op-ed out of the USA Today, this op-ed page, even with the president of the Southern Baptist Convention. Wow. In it, into the angel of the church of Laodicean wrote, "These things saith Amen, faithful and true witness to the beginning of creation of God. I know thy works, and thou neither cold nor hot." And I just read that. Take a long, hard look at the paradise painted in the church of Sweden. It would well be a new battle flag of an ongoing fight to tear down the Christian church and replace it with the inclusive vision. And from what I'm seeing, the church is now not really doing anything about it. Today it's Catholic Church in Sweden, but tomorrow it just well be your local Baptist church that falls into the end times Laodicean soup. So again, this is talking about the fact that they want to alter the Garden of Eden. And that's what they're going to do. The left-wing movement, according to this, we are, and of course, I touched this subject many times on this program, many times going way, way back. And I got to tell you, folks, the last time I did that, I lost a lot of listeners on my Spreaker. As a matter of fact, a lot of followers dumped me. I'm lucky I have the ones I have. But I got to tell you, folks, this is a sad state of affairs when you have this kind of issue. You got people who don't like what you say. And that Spreaker, that's probably why GJRB Online is not being seen very much on Facebook. But But again, I'm going to continue doing my radio shows. You either listen to them or not. It's the way it is. You know, oh freaking well, you're going to fall into that category. You know? Sad, it really is. And I don't know what else to tell you. But I don't want to say no more about that because I lost listeners the last time. But I'll tell you this, folks. God created a man and a woman to fall in love. Not a man and a man or a woman and a woman. It was created that way by God. And quite frankly, we've got to start waking up here. Start fighting for what we believe in as a Christian nation. And we should still be bringing Jesus Christ back into the chair of America and bring it back on top because we're losing it, folks. I got to tell you. More news here, and this is some of the bad weather that's been going on over the south. We were talking about this earlier, and we had the Weather Nation on just about an hour ago, and they were talking about some of the storms sweeping the south. Authorities say that 7 people have died in severe storm sweeps across parts of the U.S. South, bringing some high winds and unrelated rain. The National Weather Service in Birmingham, Alabama, said Saturday via Twitter that 3 people have been confirmed killed near Carrollton and Pickens County in Alabama. The Emergency Management Agency said there that an embedded tornado within a long line of intense thunderstorms caused some deaths. Several earlier on Saturday, firefighters found the bodies of an elderly couple Saturday near their demolished trailer at Bossier Parish, according to the sheriff's office said there. Via Facebook, the winds were so strong that the home was moved 200 feet from its foundation. Holy cow. The deaths of that victims who were in-laws of the parish deputy, which brings the storm-related death toll in the state to 3 from 75-year-old man who was killed in Oil City, according to the Caddo Parish Coroner's Office. Raymond Holden was in bed when a tree fell in his home, crushing him. Oh my goodness. Bossier Parish Sheriff Julian Whittington told the Associated Press that the truck driver and the Benton police officer had a close call after he was shocked by a down power line. Whittington said both were expected to survive. A quote here saying that a power line was hanging around the road and the 18-wheeler truck ran into it and got hung on it, according to the Benton police officer. The National Weather Service in Shreveport estimated a tornado with around 135 miles per hour touched down in Bossier Parish. Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas Saturday morning were clear of a severe thunderstorm that passed through that area the night before. One person died Friday night in Texas. Then a car flipped over in the creek in Dallas. Additional lightning from Friday's stormy weather suspected caused 2 house fires in North Texas cities of Burleson and Mansfield, according to officials there. No one was injured, though, however, so that's a good thing. Homes were damaged and destroyed in Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas on Friday, but no injuries were reported, but downed trees and power lines were also widespread. More than 85,000 people were without power in Alabama, according to the Alabama Power, and according to the PowerOutage.us. Mississippi, and more than 61,000 power outages midday Saturday, and 35,000 customers were without power in Louisiana. Outages also reported in Texas and in Michigan. So it's getting nasty there. In Tennessee, Memphis Light Gas Company, about 23,000 customers were without power Saturday morning. Damaging was widespread throughout Shelby County, Tennessee. Most populous county include Memphis, including downed trees and power poles, and some of which are will need to be replaced, according to the utility company. So this is, they got it pretty bad over there. They got really bad storms there. Oklahoma Department of Transportation reported Saturday morning portions of several highways in the southeastern part of the state were closed due to flooding. The Arkansas Department of Transportation reported portions of several state highways across the state, particularly in the southeastern portions of Arkansas, were closed due to down power lines and flooding. So, this really nasty storms there. Alabama Gulf Coast, Baldwin County canceled school activities, including sporting events, Saturday. The National Weather Service also warned high winds and flooding and potential 10-foot-high, 3-meter waves on the beaches. The northern visitors escaping the cold are a common sight during the winter there. So, man, I guess it doesn't pay to go down south in the winter anymore. I remember one year, my parents and I, we went down to Florida during the winter. We went in January, and it was absolutely fabulous. As a matter of fact, the temperatures on that day in January, as I remember straight, was 73 degrees. It was absolutely incredible. It was just amazing. And, wow. It's just, it's great to be down there in the winter. But, wow. Got somebody live there. Okay, who is this? Francisca Bai. Let's see, why don't we accept this call and see what we get. Let's see what we get. You're on, hello? Great, you can start now chatting. Okay, let's see what we get here. We got a call here. Got a wave too. Hi. Let's see where we got this. Okay, we got to go down there and see what we got here. Oh, geez. Okay, well, try to call again because I'm just trying to learn this stuff. So, Gary Russen on Skype. We had a caller there. I thought we did anyway. And I don't know, either I pushed the wrong button or we lost the caller. So try again. Still here. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to be on the program. Gary Russen on Skype. You can call in the program and join the show on both Spreaker or WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. If you are listening on Podbean, you can call on Podbean, and all you have to do to get in on that is just download the Podbean app. Okay, download the Podbean app. If you have a iPhone or a Android, all you have to do is just download that. And you get the player, which lets you listen to me live, and just hit that call button. Okay, you can get in the chat room there, too. We have a chat room and a call-in button on Podbean. And you can join me there. And get on the air. So you could do that. Absolutely fabulous. Okay, the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online here on Spreaker, and we're doing a scroll through social media covering some interesting news. We're talking about the severe weather down south, and we have other stories. So we're going to kind of go back to the main page and see what's going on here. Interesting weather. Got some flowers blooming. Is that true? Where's that, back home? Wow. Look at that. Anyway, we've got some interesting weather here over most of the area. And I mean, the south is getting warm weather. They're getting severe thunderstorms. Here we got, it's still snowing outside our Spreaker studios here on Clinton's North End. It's still snowing here. And we're expecting it. I don't know when it's going to stop. We're supposed to get a few inches. Last check. A few inches. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And we'll do one more weather on the 5s here just real shortly anyway. And we're going to be going off the air about 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. So you're welcome to join me. Anyhow, it's 5:24 Central Standard Time, 6:24 Eastern Time, 3:24 Pacific. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network on Spreaker and on WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And those two places you can be on the air with me and join on the show. And the next time we do the Gary Russen program, let me see, sometime probably next week. I'm not going to be on the air on Friday next week. No show Friday next week. I have a thing to go to, so I can't. So it won't be no show next Friday. No radio show next Friday, but we'll be back next Saturday for another Saturday Extra right here on the GJRB Online Network. And that we'll do another simulcast, another Spreaker Podbean simulcast next Saturday. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll be able to get Ben Osman in here sooner or later. Hoping sooner. So I'm hoping we get him on. We're going to try to get Ben on our next show. He never contacted me in time, so unfortunately we don't have him on today because that he didn't contact me on time. All right, well, that's how that goes. Meanwhile, back in the jungle, let's I need to do here is okay, I'm going to pull up, and I always forget MeWe. I should have posted on MeWe that we're on the air too. But posting on MeWe usually sometimes doesn't make a difference, specifically because I don't get the audience from MeWe, but I post there just in case. But I'm hoping maybe we would eventually get an audience from MeWe if I post there. But I'll have to work on that as I keep on striving for a better show all around. But it's taken practice. Let's put it that way. Now I'm going to go back up to where I was. I'm trying to get... What am I trying to get here? Oh, shoot. Where was I going to do? I've been getting into databases and forgetting what I'm there for. I always do. Oh, yeah, I remember what it was. Weather. Yeah, that's right. Because we're overdue for weather on the 5s. And I said I was going to do another one. So why don't we do that right now? Just a little past the that mark, 27 minutes after 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time. It's daylight. Wish it was daylight. Central here on GJRB Online, and let's do now.
Nationwide update. This is GJRB's Weather on the 5.
The rap version. Yeah. Alrighty then. And this is GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Currently 22 degrees on Clinton's North End, according to the Mayor Farms Eagle Point Station. Just above and near our GJRB, not far from our GJRB Spreaker studios, just above the Lion Shopping District on Clinton's North End. 22 degrees, feels that way. We have winds out of the north right now, but it seems like it's no wind. It's snowing right now, and that is correct. It's still snowing outside our Spreaker studios right now. And before we get to further into our local weather, let's take a look at national temperatures. 63 degrees right now in Los Angeles, California. Des Moines, Iowa, checking in at 18 degrees under fair skies. Paducah, Kentucky is 40 degrees and cloudy. As we head down south, let's go down to some of those areas. Dallas, Texas, 43 degrees and cloudy. Billings, Montana, 35 degrees, mostly cloudy. Truckee, California, 34 degrees, partly cloudy skies. And Charleston, South Carolina, checking in with 69 degrees, almost 70 there in Charleston. and raining right now. Yeah. And we're still under a winter storm warning for this area yet. It still continues. And I'm going to see if there's an update on this real quick before we get further into the weather itself. But this winter storm warning continues until midnight tomorrow night, or midnight tonight, with snow additional accumulations of about 2 inches. Portions of this will affect portions of northeast Missouri, central and southeast Iowa, and southwest and west central Illinois until midnight tonight, with slippery weather conditions. So be careful driving today. And we're still under it. The radar showing us pretty much over us right now with snow falling outside our Spreaker studios at this point. So we're still in that right now at this point. So we're going to go back to the main page here and give you the full look at the weather forecast and see what's going to be happening over the next few days. We'll do an extended coming up. We'll do our Spreaker shout-outs and Spreaker Podbean shout-outs, Spreaker Podbean podcasts, shout-outs and promotions right now. So we're going to do that coming up. So stay with me for that fun stuff. And I got new music for that, for that. So listen for that when that's coming up. And let's see what we got here. Tomorrow's temperature is nearly the same as today. Before we get into the full weather, let's take a look at our barometric pressure here in Clinton. 30.01 inches of mercury. We have a visibility of only 20.25 miles. 0.25 miles. That's just the reduced visibility. So be careful out there. Cloudy tonight. We have a dew point of 20 degrees, relative humidity 88%, and the barometric pressure 30.01 inches of mercury. We have a UV index of 2, that's low, with good air quality of 36. Pollen count none. Pretty good yet outside. Again, winds out of the northeast. Northeast. And right now, we have an 80% chance of snow tonight as it continues falling outside our Spreaker studios. But it'll be clearing late. We have a temperature tonight of about 12 degrees with winds north at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And a 80% chance of snow with additional accumulation of 1 inch. 20% chance of precipitation, partly cloudy skies in the morning. It's going to give way to some cloudy skies during the afternoon with a high about 30. We'll have east-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow night, 50% chance of precipitation, mainly cloudy with snow showers around before midnight, and 24 degrees for a nighttime low tomorrow night. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour and a 50% chance of snow. Once again, we have a current temperature of 22 degrees outside of Mare Farms at our GJRB Spreaker studios. 22 degrees with, it feels like 22 and snow. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 past the hour on all talk shows, 25 and 45 on most music shows, or any time in the hour that ends in 5. Weather on the 5s, right here on GJRB Online. Thank you for tuning in. And we had one in our Skype, but I don't know what happened. I think I messed up. So I'm going to put a little wave in there and see how that works. We'll wave back, schedule a call, create a post. What if maybe the listeners on Spotify, but I'm going to try to find out how to wave back here. Let's see. That's Francisca. And let's just type a hi there. Why doesn't that work? Okay, let's try it again. Okay. 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 A 3-hour show. usually on most of the time on live on Saturdays on Spreaker and Podbean. So tune in next time. And call in next time. You know, I can't type sometimes. Let's see if we can get the message there and see if we get a message back. But thank you for tuning in. Francisco, tell me where you're listening on. If you're listening on Spreaker or Podbean, or either or. And if you're listening on Podbean, you can just get in and download that app and hit that call button. But right now I'm going to be closing the Podbean call-in part here pretty soon because we'll be ending the show. But thank you for tuning in. If you are listening on Spreaker, you can call me yet, but I'm going to be going off the air in about 25 minutes. So just to let you know about that. But I do mostly have this show airing on Saturdays unless something comes up or something is happening or family-related stuff going on. And things are doing good. What about you? Doing just fine. Doing real good. What are you listening on? Are you listening to the show? Let's try that. What a stupid thing. I know how to type. I'll probably spell radio wrong, of course. Okay, and if you are, what are you listening on, like Spreaker? I do a radio program. It's called the Gary Russen program. I have 2 radio stations, GJRB Online, which is a network, Spreaker, and I do a live radio program. You can listen to it. It's on Spreaker or on Podbean. And I'm going to do right now, before I do the Spreaker shout-outs, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take a music break, and then we'll do our Spreaker shout-outs, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on GJRB Online on Spreaker, across America, and this is the latest from an artist whose name is Myers. Her first name, no, I forgot what it was. Let me go into the file again where that song comes from, because it doesn't tell me the title unless I go in there. It is by an artist named Danielle Myers, and the song is called Cowboy Cadillac. Great country music on GJRB.
Was there when he bought the farm, and it'll be mine when I'm old enough to drive. He said that it may not look like much, but every cowgirl needs a pickup truck. When it's done, you won't
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Danielle Myers on GJRB Online. Great song, newest on our GJRB list, called Cowboy Cadillac on GJRB Online Network on Spreaker and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. And we got a great show here. We got about 19 minutes left to go with the program. So we're going to head strong right now into our Spreaker shout-outs and promotions. So let's get that started right here on GJRB Online. Get that rolling. Yeah. GJRB Online on Spreaker and Podbean. Podbean, absolutely fabulous site. Join me live on Podbean. Got a lot of really neat stuff on here. I'm telling you what, got some great podcasters all over. I mean, we got stations all over the place. I mean, you never know where you're going to find internet radio at its very best is right here. By the way, before we close down, I'm closing down the lines here on Podbean as I'm going off the air in about 19 minutes. Lines are closed, so don't try to call in now. But I'm going to be on the air again this week. I'll let you know when we're going to be doing that. But right now, let's just talk about some of those great podcasters who are out there. There's a lot of them out there. So many stations broadcasting all over the place. I'm telling you what. And you never know what you're going to find on here. I'm telling you. We got some great people. And I'm going to talk about some of them, like Mike Myers, Radio Hope Network. I'm telling you, you want to listen to this guy 7 mornings a week, 365 days a year, every morning, 8 o'clock, bright and early in the morning, 7 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. But this guy tells it like it is. Talks about family, home, love, just a whole bit. The Mike Myers Show, Radio Hope Network. Check him out. You can also check out his live 24/7 stream on TuneIn. It's fabulous. And he puts on a good broadcast. You want to listen to that. That's the Mike Myers Show. And the Radio Hope Network, 8 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, right here on Spreaker. Check it out. 8 o'clock in the morning. Wake up to great radio at its best. The Mike Myers Show on the Radio Hope Network. And if you want to listen to some other stuff, this guy just joined Mike Myers Network, the Radio Hope Network. Yeah, Bob Huber. He's going places, man. 45 minutes straight nonstop stuff. He's doing it. Yeah. How does he do that? But apparently, I guess he does. He's doing something there. But you can check him out. That's I don't know when he's going to be on now because he's closing up his other podcast site. I don't know what he's doing there, but you can check him out. Bob Huber, the Huber Experience, is taking a new experience on. Check him out live. And that's on the Mike Myers Radio Hope Network. So check that out. That's a good place to listen. And then, I don't know if this guy had a bad show. Well, I'm going to say he had a bad show. But apparently what happened is that his broadcast went short on Tuesday night. He has had some internet issues. And that is Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative. And I'm hoping he'll be back real soon. He had some problems on Tuesday night's program and got knocked off the air. Don't know what happened there, but apparently he did. He got knocked off the air, so unfortunately that happens, I guess. So you want to check him out. That's the Ed Delgado, Caramel Conservative, every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on Spreaker. Talks a lot about what's going on in the world of news. Talks about what I talk about here on Spreaker a lot of times. And I hope that he checks out our podcast on both Spreaker and Podbean. Please do. Anyway, he has a great program. You want to tune in. That's the Ed Delgado Caramel Conservative. And then on just south of us, you want to check out another guy. His name is, he's from Houston. OBFSU, our Big Fat Soft Underbelly. He talks a lot about news. He's a legal citizen of America. He has Our Light Will Shine. Commentary's amazing. Listen to this guy. He does a good show. He's right here on Spreaker, and I don't know, he posts spontaneously, so it's hard to say when he's on. Just have to go to his site from time to time and check him out. That is OBFSU, our Big Fat Soft Underbelly, and he's from Houston, Texas. And right here on Podbean and also on Spreaker, but most of the time on Podbean, is another fabulous guy you want to check out, and that's Black Dragons Radio. Black Dragons Radio is fabulous. This guy puts on a good show. I'm telling you what. Let's check out Black Dragons Radio whenever you can, because he puts on a really good show. And he does a lot of good stuff. I really like his program. I tune in quite often. And he's now on right here on Podbean. Black Dragons Radio. Plays some great music, talks a lot, talks about all kind of different things, but plays a lot of good music. And he's off the air for a while because he's moving. But he'll be back on real soon. At Black Dragons Radio. So check him out. He does a good show. I like to listen to his program. Black Dragons Radio, right here on Podbean. So just download that Podbean app and check all these programs out. And got some really good ones. There's some good, great Christian ones here on Podbean. One that's called Rely on Christ. KROC. Don't know where they're from, but he has some great Christian messages for you. KROC. Listen to KROC right here on Podbean. They're absolutely fabulous. And there's these guys that are really fabulous. I kind of stand up for these guys. They're amazing. They stand up for a lot of stuff. I mean, they stand up for people who have been unrighteously put in prison. I mean, this is good stuff. I mean, it's great. They stand up for people who have been in prison and got railroaded. They work on getting them out. It's fabulous. They are called Live and Direct. You have to listen to these guys. These are amazing. Live and Direct. So you want to tune into Live and Direct right here on Podbean. They, I don't know. I think they've been off the air for a while. I don't know if they're going to be back on the air anytime soon, but you'll have to check them out. That's Live and Direct. So check that out. They're fabulous. Live and Direct here on Podbean. And those are some of the podcasts. You can check them out by going into the Spreaker public site. Go to www.spreaker.com/user/5120525. Or if you are a Twitter follower, I am the Radio Maniac. You'll find that all on the Spreaker main site. You'll see where the links are to the show. And over here on Podbean, I'm working on that one. I'm working on the... I like this Podbean for their website. I like this Podbean for their app. Absolutely incredible way of getting on the air and doing a talk show. I do have listeners on here that pop in and out. They did all day. I did a full show again alone, but there were people who tuned in and tuned out. Probably didn't like what I was talking about, but it's absolutely fabulous, though. Thanks a lot for tuning in, some of those people who tuned in, including some of the people that tune in, Tanya and a Big T Furlow tuned in a couple of times, and we have a Brent Davis on here. How you doing? Welcome aboard. Thank you for tuning in. And a Ralph Williams podcast. I'll have to check you out. Ralph Williams Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. How you doing? Welcome aboard. And I'm going to be going off the air in about 11 minutes. But I'll be doing more shows here. More shows. So, beware. Tune in. We also have Lily. Boy, we're getting people in here. Why are they coming in 10 minutes before I go off the air? That's the big question. But I will be back on the air more often on this station because I have two stations. This is WGJR Worldwide, but I also have Spreaker. I'm on Spreaker as well. And also can be heard. This show can be heard on Spotify. So you want to check out that Spotify. And you can listen to the show anytime. The podcasts are available anytime. You can listen to it whenever you want to. Or check me live. And, of course, like I said before, I'm going to be doing more advertising for this radio station, which is WGJR Worldwide, the affiliate of the GJRB Online Network. And I'm going to be making new IDs for this station. So I'm going to be doing I'm busy all the time doing some promotions and productions because, see, I have an AA degree in broadcasting. I've done radio. I wanted to do radio all my life as a kid growing up in Pittsburgh. And my influences like KQV, which was the top 40 AM station. I used to go and watch the window and said, I want to do this. Unfortunately, never got a gig on a radio station that's terrestrial, but hey, well. But I tell you what, this is fun stuff. I can't say any more than I'm going to be on the air more often on Podbean because I like it here. I do. I really like it. I like Spreaker too. I'm going to use both. But I'll tell you what, I'm getting more listeners on Podbean than I am on Spreaker. For some apparent reason, don't ask me why. I just don't know. But I'm going to, again, post here. Let everybody know that I'm on Podbean. I'm going to find ways of spreading this show around so we get more listeners on both ends. And like I said before, there'll be some shows that'll be heard just here, and there'll be some shows that'll be simulcast on both Podbean and Spreaker. And I'll also have some shows available that'll just be on YouTube. Now, I do have a YouTube video cast, or what I call YouTube video, a live YouTube stream. I'm going to be doing that too. I've got a couple more. I've got some shows planned for YouTube. That's the WGJR, that's a GJRB TV on YouTube. That's the YouTube channel. Look it up. Just type it in the YouTube search engine, and you'll see some of the videos that come up that I've already done, and you can watch those. I have a thing on my computer that's called XSplit Broadcaster, and it lets me do videos live on YouTube. So I'll be doing some YouTube videos. I'll be doing some other stuff. I'm going to be doing some visual things because I'm a broadcaster, either visual or audio. I'm a broadcaster. I went to broadcasting school. I went to Ohio School of Broadcasting in Cleveland, Ohio, and I went to a broadcasting courses. I went to college in Moline, Illinois, in the Quad Cities, called Blackhawk. Took some more broadcasting courses. Took some weather courses for meteorology, and I'm involved heavily in the broadcasting. Worked at a public television station as a master control operator from 2005 to 2009. So I've done a lot of. I'm a broadcaster. That's what I do for a living, even though I don't get paid for it anymore. Other than, but anyway, that's how that goes. We didn't cover most. We covered most of the stories that we talked about here on here. We talked about those. The Church of Sweden unveiling the first ever LGBTQ LMNOP. That. A version of the Garden of Eden. We talked about Walmart selling children's books for demons. And Webster's Dictionary naming they as the word for 2019. That's what we talked about today. Also talked about some of the horrible weather that you guys have been getting down south. Oh my goodness. I hope that things get better. We'll be praying for you because I know that's just terrible. Terrible. I'm hoping that everything gets better for you. We'll be praying to clean up and tornadoes in the south. And I've got a friend down south right now who lives in Nashville, near Nashville. So, I know that's got to be really rough when you get really bad weather like that. So we're going to be praying for you that things get a little better. Want to thank, again, Ralph Williams Podcast for joining me, Brent Davis for joining me. Come back for another show. And don't forget to check me out on Spreaker, Spreaker. That's Spreaker, and that's www.spreaker.com/user/5120525, or just go to www.spreaker.com and just do that. Let me see here. I'm going to go over to where that is, my main page, and link that to you so that you can find me on here. Let's do that real quick before we close out. I'm going to do paste that so you can see that, and that is where you'll find a lot of my broadcasts. GJRB Online Network on Spreaker, and when you click that, it should take you into the Spreaker podcast platform there, and you'll see the GJRB Online. It'll take you right to that site. Or I am the Radio Maniac on Twitter. and you can listen to the show live right there. As soon as you click that icon there where it says the widget, it'll open up, and you can listen to the show right there. You click into the search engine, click into the comic book icon, and it'll take you right into the Spreaker chat room, and you can talk to me live on the air. It's that simple. So absolutely fabulous stuff. And that's pretty much going to do for our show. We're going to wrap it up because we've got about 4 minutes and some odd 19 seconds left. So that means we're getting down to the nitty gritty here on another edition of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in on Podbean, including the people who had tuned in on Podbean. Want to thank you for tuning in to our show on Podbean, and that included the people who stayed in for a little bit, like Tanya and T. Furlow and other fine people who stopped in. Thank you a lot for tuning in, including the Williams podcast there. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again for another edition of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, next Saturday. Don't know when we'll be on the air this week, so watch for postings on the GJRB Spreaker public site, on Facebook and Twitter and other places where you can find our show, and I'll let you know when we're going to be on the air. Possibly on Monday, we're looking at a overdue Gary J in the afternoon, which got canceled Wednesday. So we're going to have that show possibly on Monday. So tune in on Monday for that. That'll be on Spreaker only. So get it on the Spreaker side. Until then, I'm Gary J. Russen on the GJRB Online Network and WGJR Worldwide on Podbean. Have yourself your best night ever. So long, everyone. Recently, the owner of Facebook had to face commerce over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users were saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of your censorship and your data being used without your permission? Do something about it now. Come to MeWe, the internet social site that values your freedom. No more deleted postings. Make a step to freedom. Sign up today. It's easy. Go to www.MeWe.com. That's MEWE. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radioland. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radioland. End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop for a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. Violators of this law could get a suspension of their driver's license and a $250 fine. When you see a school bus stop at a corner, letting off kids, stop 25 feet away from the bus. Don't take that